Okay, everybody, today we're going to talk about the product rule. The product rule is a rule to where we can find the derivative of a function that is the product of two other functions. So in the general way, you will see that a function f of x, if it equals g of x, so some function times another function h of x, then we would write our derivative here, f prime of x, is going to be the combination of each of these functions up here times the derivative of the other one. So you can write it as that f prime of x is going to be g of x times h prime of x plus g prime of x times h of x. So what you're doing is just kind of taking each function and multiplying it by the derivative of the other function that's present. So that's it. Now, for right now, this rule only works for if you have two functions. You can apply it to where it would work for more, but then you would have to do product rules inside of other product rules and things. So right now, you should just be thinking about this as, just two functions. I doubt you'd ever see, where you have three of them in there. That would definitely be a more complicated problem. But right now, just identifying two functions and then using this rule will allow you to find the derivative. So let's do an example here of where you would have to use the product rule in order to find your derivative. So I'm going to skip to the next page here. So a function that was something like this, f of x equals x times the sine of x. Now, we have two functions here. We've got a function x and we have a function sine that are being multiplied together. So if I was trying to find the derivative here of f of x, I would have to first find the derivatives of each of these previous functions, or each of the functions up at the top. So I'm going to label down here, which I'm going to have my g of x, which we've identified as x. And I need its derivative, which is g prime of x, which is going to be 1. The derivative of g of x is just 1. Then I also have to find my other function, which we will call h of x. Well, h of x we've identified as the sine of x, and the derivative of the sine of x is cosine of x. So at this point, the calculus part is pretty much done. Now we just have to use our formula and plug it all in and simplify. So that's it. So f prime of x, again, we link these things together. So g of x will link with h prime, and g prime will link with h. So once we put everything together, we are, in a sense, done. So we start off, we've got g of x, which is x, and it pairs with h prime of x, which is the cosine of x. We then add the derivative of g of x, or g prime of x, which is 1, and that multiplies by h of x, which is sine of x. Well, we have successfully completed the product rule. The only thing that you want to do after this is just simplify, which this one doesn't have much to simplify because we just have to drop this 1 over here. You just don't want to leave 1 there. It's just kind of silly. It's not necessary. So 1 times sine of x just becomes sine of x. So our derivative here is x cosine x plus sine of x. And that's it. It's done. There's nothing more you can do. That can be used now to find the slope of our original function anywhere. It can be used to find maximums, minimums. It can be used to even take further derivatives. So the product rule, again, is a rule that is designed to help us find derivatives when we have a function made up of the product of two other functions. Okay, so As long as you can identify the two functions and find their derivatives, you just place them together with these 5 pieces. You take these 5 pieces, the plus sign is always there as well, and put it together. And that's it.